Hello, greetings everybody, and welcome here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're back. This is battle number 20 of the series we're doing for the month of December, which is Progressive Rock Solo Artist Album Wars. So we have two interesting guys here today doing battle. If you had told me before this series started that these two guys would be through to the second round, I would have said absolutely no chance of that happening. But here they both are. So that is why we do these things, because we learn new stuff, right? So Adrian Belew is one of them. He's doing Inner Revolution from 1992, and Peter Hamel is the other one, The Silent Corner and the Empty Stage from 1974. So basically what we're doing here is Ben has given me 32 bands, which are now down to 16 bands left. He gave me the first round battle matchups. I went through them, and we are now, I think we're at halfway through this week. So this is about the halfway point of the second round. And so my job is to listen to the two albums, decide which one I like better, and that one moves on to the next round. The other one is out of the tournament. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Most of these, or actually all of these people are progressive rock solo artists. So what they are is they're people doing solo albums from progressive rock bands. There's a large number of them here that have had lots of albums. Some of them have had one or two. Some of them actually went on to have a solo career at this point, but for the most part, I think most of them stuck with their bands. So in the case of these two guys, Adrian Belew from King Crimson, of course, and Peter Hamel from Vandergraaf Generator. Okay, so we'll talk about the Adrian Belew album first. Now, I've never really had any problems with Adrian Belew's vocals. I think he's got really strong vocals. I think he's good. I enjoyed the stuff he did with King Crimson. What I've heard of it, I've been listening to it. I'm working my way through the discography for King Crimson now. Inner Revolution, a pretty solid album from top to bottom. A little on the poppy side, but it does have some of that progressive sound that you've come to know. My problem with some of his other stuff is a little bit too much quirky instrumentation, and just weird noises. But this album I don't have that issue with at all. I think it's a pretty solid album from top to bottom. In fact, there isn't really any tracks on it that I don't like, or that I dislike is another word that I might want to use here. But it's a pretty solid album. Now the other album, Peter Hamel, The Silent Corner and the Empty Stage, this was a much more difficult album to get into. I actually don't mind the piano aspects of the album, and even if I keep the volume low enough, like 3 or 4, when it's low, I can hear it and I can hear the music, but I don't have to be inundated with his absolutely terrible vocals. I can't stand his vocals at all. There are some songs though where if you keep him at a low key or kind of backgroundish, he's not too bad. But if you give him full reign in a much higher paced song or a much heavier song, God, it's god awful. And there was a couple of those god awful songs on here, but he has got some good stuff on here too. I do like some of the stuff he does do on this particular album. Album cover withstanding, it's like a weird album cover, man. I don't even want to tell you what I think it is, because it's just weird. I've never really liked this cover. I've seen it before on other channels too. Yeah, just not one of my favorite covers. But overall, it's not a terrible album. And if you had told me that it was going to be something that I was going to say that about when I started the series, I would not have believed it, because I'm firmly not a fan of this guy's vocals at all. So this album, again, from 1974, pretty solid overall. I don't think it's good enough really to beat the Adrian Belew album. That's basically what it comes down to. I think the Adrian Belew album consistently is a better album. If he didn't sing on this album, maybe it might be different, but Peter Hamel is actually singing on the album, so that's a detriment to the album. There's a couple songs on here that I absolutely grit my teeth against. But other than that, it's not too bad. So good album, but just not quite good enough. So for this episode, Adrian Belew is going to be going on to the quarterfinals. The album was a little bit better. He got a perfect matchup for him that works because his vocals, which are good, now are outstanding compared to the other one. So anyways, that's it for tonight's episode. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the like and the subscription. That is appreciated. Any comments about either of the albums or anything I've said, you can put in the comments section below. And hit the notification bell so you get notified of the next coming battle, which will of course be tomorrow. Well, this one actually will come out tomorrow. That will come out the day after. And we will see you then, and you have yourself a good night, and take care. Goodbye.